welcome to my pitch about my documentary called The Hidden Message. My synopsis for my documentary is interviews with volunteer students from St Luke's School who will be answering two questions, which are: what do you think about yourself having autism? And two, what do you think others think about you having autism? We would like them to not use the word autism in their answer. What is autism? Autism is a lifelong disability which affects their communication skills, which makes it difficult to them to talk to new people, as they cannot make eye contact with them. Since 1938 to 2010, so far, the chances of having autism has increased a lot over the years. So there is more people being diagnosed having autism, mainly more males than female. My primary target audience for my project is 16 to 30-year-olds of any gender for Channel 4. My secondary audience will be teachers and doctors who use my documentary as an educational source for their students and patients who would learn more about autism and how words can hurt their feelings. On the social economic table, I would be aiming at two different types of classes, which are non-working class as my primary audience and the upper middle class for my secondary. The psychographic for both audiences, it will be aimed at the reformers. For my content of audience part, it is split up onto three different slides, as there's three different parts that I'll be covering for this. The first slide is the codes and conventions of documentaries. Most of the codes and conventions will not be used in the documentary, which are voiceover, active footage, and visual coding. The rest of the codes and conventions will be used in the documentary, but not sure how I want most of them to turn out, such as the use of text and titles and real footage of events and the sound. The second part of the contents for audience is my focus group that I conducted on Monday the 21st of March 2016, which contained 4 members, but I also participated in the group discussion of the clips that we watched. The results that I was given by these members were reliable for my documentary, so I know what I should include that will suit my target audience. My final part of the contents audience is the question that I created for my focus group to fill out after discussing all the questions for the 2 clips that we watched. This determined who I'm targeting at, even though the age range for Channel 4 is 16 to 34. I'll be targeting at 16 to 20 years old, who are mainly male college students. The personality types are non-working and working class, but with the occupation of part-time jobs. For this project, I'm taking on 4 roles, which are director, producer, scriptwriter, and editor. I have already filled my role as producer by contacting the school what I have liked to have happened. Jack has also taken on 4 roles for this project, which are producer, director of photography, scriptwriter, and also editor. For our final group edit.
I want to interject there, but yes. So you're both editors?
Yeah, for our different ones. For our final group edit, we will choose who's the best to show to the other students. We will also send a copy to the school so they can see our final product. Our location is St Luke's School in Redbourne, which is only 45 minutes away from here. It is also known as the SEND School for those with special needs. The person who is helping me set everything up there is a teacher called Mr. Obembe. The equipment that we'll be using will be a Canon FX100 and tripod. We will not be using a boom mic. We will not be taking a boom mic with us, as we'll be using the mic on camera to capture all the audio instead. The film budget only contains 3 items, which are the camera, tripod, and black t-shirts. There's nothing really important that we need for our documentary, It's much different than a film budget for a horror film or any film genre. Travel up there, up to the school, would be by my mum. Our film schedule shows 5 different jobs for 5 different days, as we will do 1 day filming at the school. On the second 2 days after film will be editing a rough cut. Then after that I will show it to a group of people and get their opinions. If we need to do any changes. The last day is to do any changes that we need to be made before exporting our final project for the showing on the first Thursday back after half term. Thank you for listening.
Have you organised the school? Is that permission's been granted?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to get signed release forms and.
Yes, I'm waiting for them to contact me because they said they'll contact me today. So when I get back home, I will email them saying, or I'll phone them up and.
So are they going to have they definitely given you permission 100%?
Yes, I have a letter that says it.
Okay. Make sure you include that in your pre-production.
Yes, it was already done.
And who are you going to interview?
We're interviewing my little brother.
Yeah.
And then we are interviewing 5 other students. So in total we're having about 6 students to be interviewed.
Okay, so this is the first documentary you guys would have made.
Yeah.
Your inexperience making documentaries. Tell me a little bit about what kind of shots you're going to have in the documentary. What kind of, how would you frame the interview? Let's start with that.
Well, we're going to plan to have it all in mid-shots, but then
Okay.
while editing, it's not always going to be on the main one person.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to go from one person to another, and then go back to the first person. So it's kind of a different arrangement than a normal documentary.
So you're going to have mid-shots.
Yeah.
Okay, and are they going to be on one side of the screen or the other?
I'm not too sure about that.
It's normal in documentaries for someone to be on one side of the screen looking through space.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to do you need to do some research into style of
Oh,
interviews and what about cutaways? What kind of cutaways are you going to have?
I haven't thought about that because I've recently just started this storyboard and I haven't had time to finish off and think about that.
So that will be a major part of the storyboards.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't, documentaries can be very boring if it's just someone talking on the camera. You need cutaway footage.
Okay, yeah.
So when someone's talking about this happening or that happening or doing this, generally speaking, you cut away and show them doing that.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you might need to film and organise days outside of filming at St Luke's school and go and shoot them in a youth club or a home or something like that.
They have, over there they have an animal thing,
Yeah.
for animal care, so we could have a bit of footage of them taking care of all the animals.
Okay. Yes. So think about that in your shot list and storyboard, and make sure that you get a lot of cutaway footage.
Will do.
Because someone talking on the camera for 5 minutes is boring.
Okay.
Okay. And you remember this is Channel 4. So who's the target audience for Channel 4?
16 to 34-year-olds of any genre.
So what kind of content do they like?
I did research about this and I can't remember.
Exciting content, fast paced or slower, new style?
It was exciting, really, so that it would capture them.
If you look at a lot of the
Content.
documentaries on Channel 4 Shorts website, what you actually see is quite controversial stuff. In actual fact, there's a documentary on at the moment called Trip on a Trip.
Oh yeah.
Gives you some kind of idea as to how they address disability and difficulties on Channel 4. Very, very controversial, but they're trying to meet a target audience.
Yeah.
Whether it's right or not, they're, in my opinion, they're reinforcing negative stereotypes by using words like crip. But then again, people wouldn't watch it if it wasn't a bit controversial. So I think you need to think about your target audience and, you know, does this meet their expectations? Is it, you know, how can you make it a little bit more fast-paced? How can you make it fun? This is Channel 4, not the BBC.
Yeah.
So you've got to think about that a lot. Make sure that you script that in or storyboard it in. You're probably not going to have a script for a documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.